Now that the word is out, the speculation is no longer valid. A startling projection indicates that there is a 50% chance that the U.S. will experience another recession in 2024. The reality we face is becoming more and more apparent every day, despite the fact that the U.S. economy demonstrated resilience in the fourth quarter of 2023, with GDP growth of 3.3%. Citi has confirmed that a downturn is imminent, claiming that there is no indication of a soft landing and that we are directly into a recession. What makes a recession unique is that, despite popular belief, it is not always a financial catastrophe. As this will impact most individuals, those who are well prepared can really benefit from it. In some sense, it's critical to actively plan for the future as well as to be ready for what is about to happen. So you may be asking what the predicted 2024 recession actually means for the economy, and more significantly, for you. What are some methods you can use right now to not only survive the recession, but come out stronger on the other side? How can you protect your finances during these times of economic downturn and even uncover possibilities for growth? These are the topics we'll be delving into today. At the end, we'll address the most important one of all, how to become wealthy during the now verified 2024 recession. Let's examine important data and go straight to the point regarding the most recent economic estimates. For instance, the U.S. trade imbalance increased significantly to $62.2 billion by December 2023. This number is significant because it shows how the economy is becoming more unbalanced, with imports outpacing exports. Such a deficit can have a number of negative effects on the country's economy, including pressure on domestic industries. In light of growing living expenses, personal income growth, which was recorded at a moderate 0.3% increase during the same period, is another important piece of information to take into account. For many Americans, this meager wage growth is insufficient, suggesting a possible strain on consumer financial health. In December 2023, consumer expenditure rose by 0.7% in spite of these economic headwinds. Spending is increasing despite indications that the economy is weakening, which may seem odd, but this is because consumer behavior does not necessarily correspond with the more significant economic indicators. The necessity for careful financial planning is indicated by Citi's warning of a recession in 2024, which is backed by these economic data. Nowadays, the emphasis is on how individuals can prosper during this anticipated economic slowdown. It's not only about surviving through a difficult financial period. It's also about making wise decisions that may safeguard or even enhance your financial stability in unpredictable times. Okay, to make sense of it all, let's delve a little deeper into the economic signals and add a few figures. When Citi predicts a recession for 2024, they do so with reliable data. They are not simply speculating. What is the background to these predictions then? Interest rates are first. You've all probably noticed that they're becoming bigger. Recent reports state that in order to combat inflation head-on, the Federal Reserve has been hiking rates quickly and significantly. Historically, as rates rise, borrowing becomes more expensive for both consumers and businesses. Consequently, investment and consumption tend to naturally decline. For instance, mortgage rates have skyrocketed to levels not seen in over a decade. This directly affects expenditure and property purchases when individuals attempt to reduce inflation. Let's talk about the job market. It has been robust, and unemployment rates have just dipped below 4%, which is a historic low. A strong job market usually implies economic health. However, there is a danger that they will overdo it and bring about a recession. However, it also means that when companies fight for talent, wages rise and workers gain from increased pay. However, if they are not offset, they may contribute to inflation. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported strong pay rise of more than 5% annually. There are already indications that the delicate equilibrium between inflation and job growth is about to be disturbed. Another important metric is consumer confidence. Spending decreases when people are concerned about the state of the economy. The Conference Board's measure of consumer confidence has been erratic, with recent readings suggesting a decline in sentiment. This decline in consumer spending has the potential to severely hurt firms, possibly resulting in layoffs that further cut expenditure. This vicious cycle can swiftly cause the economy to contract. Now that we have discussed how to recognize the early indicators of a downturn, let's discuss a plan that could protect your assets in the event of an emergency. Have you heard of Warren Buffett, the financial genius who always appears to turn everything he touches into gold? If so, you may be thinking if you might pull off something similar during a slump in the economy. Buffett himself, though, offers us a hint with his well-known counsel: be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Finding long-term assets that others might overlook is the main goal of this guidance, particularly in lean economic times. When the financial world was essentially collapsing back in 2008, Buffett made a move that left many people perplexed. He made the extremely wise decision to invest a whopping $5 billion in Goldman Sachs. In exchange for the company agreeing to give him 10% return on the investment, he also received the opportunity to purchase additional shares at a discount. Go ahead, and after a few years, Buffett and his business, Berkshire Hathway, made a tidy $3.7 billion profit from this transaction. I know you're thinking, wow, that's amazing. How can I do that? Essentially, it's about seeing value where others might perceive just despair. It is commonly known that Buffett possesses a substantial amount of cash on hand, roughly $157 billion. But this isn't because he is hoarding money for a rainy day. Rather, the cash enables him to move quickly when he finds a deal during economic downturns. As an example, Buffett began purchasing Apple shares in 2016, and by 2020, those shares had grown to be worth over $90 billion. There was no recession at the time. Yet it demonstrates how Buffett's approach of selecting reliable businesses at competitive prices truly paid off. If you're wondering if time is everything, the answer is partially yes, but it's also important to know what you're investing in and have faith in its long-term worth. What does this mean for regular people like us who might not have billions of dollars hanging around? Therefore, it is not enough to simply strive to emulate Buffett's actions. We can also learn from his strategy of spotting chances when others are panicking, concentrating on businesses with strong fundamentals, and holding on to some capital for when the timing is perfect. Is it really possible for me to make astute decisions during a recession like Buffett does? Indeed, it's about keeping an eye out, finishing your assignments, and occasionally stepping out of your comfort zone when it seems like everyone else is running for their lives. Now that we have a better understanding of the Buffett model, let's focus on the specific areas where you might wish to search for chances when a stormy economic forecast is issued. Not all industries and investment kinds have historically fared equally badly during recessions. In fact, some have a tendency to weather the storm very well, and a select number may even do well. So what are these regions, and how can you initially identify them? Let's talk about consumer goods. After all, everyone has to eat healthily, regardless of what's going on in the globe. Consumer staples were like solid ships in a storm. During the 2008 recession, when the overall market fell by almost 38%, companies like Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola not only survived, but in some ways grew because people kept buying snacks and identify these chances. It all comes down to completing your research and looking for businesses in these industries with strong financials, robust financial statements, minimal debt, and a history of consistent performance. It's a good idea to pay attention to dividend yields. A company's financial stability and health may be indicated by a long history of dividend payments. Okay, let's talk about a subject that is likely on many people's minds. Should I be saving every penny, or is now a good time to invest? First things first, saving is a financial safety net that is obvious to do during uncertain times. Consider it as creating a safety net that will enable you to deal with unforeseen costs without jeopardizing your financial security. When determining how much money to save, a decent guideline is to strive for an emergency fund that provides 3 to 6 months' worth of living costs. This provides you with a safety net in case things get difficult. It gets intriguing now, though, if you were to lose your employment or incur unforeseen medical expenses. While keeping cash on hand is a wise idea, putting it all in a savings account might not be the best course of action. In the long run, particularly given the current state of interest rates, investing can help offset the gradual decline in the purchasing power of your cash savings due to inflation. But isn't it dangerous to do so during a recession? Although there is always risk associated with investing, downturns can offer special possibilities and result in cheaper prices for sound investments, allowing you to purchase a discounted ticket. Recall our discussion of industries that typically weather recessions well. That's an excellent place to start. Thus, how do you determine whether to invest and when to save? It all comes down to your goals, financial circumstances, and risk tolerance. A portion of your excess cash should be allocated to investments if you have a healthy emergency fund and a reliable source of income. If not, you should prioritize creating a safety net. After discussing the rough waters of saving versus spending, let's move on to a more upbeat subject: the economy's eventual rebound. Naturally, it is simple to get sucked into the negative emotions of a recession, but history demonstrates that good times always follow bad. How can I best position myself to maximize my recovery when it occurs? Is the actual question. Let's break it down. First, it's important to realize that economies are cyclical. After every storm, there is a period of quiet. No matter how bad they are, recessions are always followed by times of expansion and recovery. The secret is to prepare for it. Examining the 2008 financial crisis and its aftermath provides guidance for managing recoveries in the future. The S&P 500 increased by more than 400% after 2008 by 2020, rewarding those who were ready. The secret to this was remaining up to date and keeping an eye on economic metrics like consumer spending and job growth to spot early signs of recovery. In addition, diversification proved to be crucial. Investors who spread their money across a variety of industries, particularly technology and healthcare, saw significant growth. Consistent investing, especially through dollar-cost averaging, allowed many to buy low and profit from the market's rebound. As a result, we now know that preparing for a recovery phase entails more than just protecting your assets. It also entails making wise investments and developing personally so that you can seize opportunities when things improve. Additionally, Buffett underscores the significance of cash reserves during a recession. He recommends having a financial cushion to capitalize on investment opportunities that may arise when others are forced to sell at distressed prices. For him, cash is a strategic asset during economic downturns, providing the flexibility to deploy capital when the market presents attractive bargains. This approach aligns with Buffett's belief in staying rational and unswayed by market emotions, allowing investors to take advantage of undervalued assets that have the potential for long-term growth. In essence, Warren Buffett's advice on investing during a recession revolves around a patient, disciplined approach that seeks enduring value and seizes opportunities amid market uncertainty. Recall that the world's wealthiest individuals view economic downturns as chances to increase their wealth. Now is the moment to put your plan in place, stay informed, and make well-considered decisions. How do you feel about making investments amid a recession? If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. You may also share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until the next time, remain smart. Let me know in the comments section below. I'll see you in the next video. Stay wealthy.